the menorah. And a study on the menorah actually came from, and this has happened when I was in faith, one of the leaders of my congregation, leader of actually congregation I was in at the time, indicated that the menorah would, scientists had determined that the arms would break under their own weight because gold is so ductile, it flexes, stretches. And therefore it could only be held together by the Creator. Same thing with regards to the Ark of the Covenant. That basically the Ark of the Covenant would carry the people who were trying to carry it. It basically had negative weight. I don't think these are correct situations. And again, it starts getting to Talmudic issues, and I don't see the Talmud saying that it carried the people. But that being said, let's look at a few things from the menorah. Again, to start this, we're going to be in Exodus 25. And starting at verse 31, where you make the lampstand out of pure gold. Okay, so if it's pure gold, obviously it should be 24 karat gold. Or as close to that as we can make it in the desert environment. Now, we have the weight as a talent of it and the items that are made with it. A talent is 3,000 shekels, and a shekel is 20 gerahs, and a gerah is 0.57 grams. So when we work from the base up, we learn that it's 75.4 pounds. Now, gold, pure gold, has a modulus of rupture of about 29 ksi, so that's when it will basically start shattering under its own weight. We are told it's hammered, so it should be hollow. But how thick is the gold that they're hammering in there? And that's the question of the day: how thick is the gold? Torah doesn't tell us the height of the menorah. But the taller the menorah, the weaker the arms, because the taller it is, the longer the arms are, and so it's exerting more force. And it also is having, the taller it is, the thinner the gold is to support that weight, because the weight should be the same, almost realistically, even based on sizing. Whether it's a short thing or whether it's a tall thing, the weight of the arm should approximate the same if we are dealing with the same thickness throughout, and we don't know that. Now, that being said, our oral tradition, Torah, says it's 5 feet 4 inches tall. Therefore, I ran the figures based on that height, and that's where it changes. Again, the taller it is, the longer segments that you have. Now, the inner arm is about 15 inches in length. If I'm doing a circle or a semicircle, and I'm coming in, and I'm coming down 10 inches for that lampstand, coming down 10 inches, that would actually be a 15-inch semicircle. So about, what's that even work out to? About 7.5 inches for each side. The middle arm is, again, you're going down 20 inches now, the middle arm is 31 inches in length. So again, 15.5 inches for each arm. And the outer arm is 47 inches in length. Now, again, the center would be 63 inches for 5 foot 4 inches tall, and the base should be wider than the actual lampstand itself. Every time we see it, it comes down and it gets wider towards the base. Now, this is going to be based on some assumptions, okay? If we use the bottom section and we think that that's twice the amount of gold as the upper, because as it becomes wider, if I'm doing that, that gives us 161 total units, and I based on those units as inches. But again, I think this would be the same however we play it. We're just trying to get rough units of measurement here. At that height, each of these units is about 46%, or 40.46 pounds. That means that the two inner arms are 7 pounds, so each arm being 3.5 pounds. The middle arms are 14.4 pounds. Each of the arms is 7.2 pounds. And the outer arms, the weakest of the arms, is 22 pounds, each arm being 11 pounds. Now gold is 0.7 pounds per cubic inch, so each inch of this depth would be 0.66 inch of gold. In other words, not a cubic inch, 0.66 cubic inches. Now, the thinner the arm is, and again, we're not told these dimensions, the thinner the arm is, the thicker the gold is. But again, at 0.66, it would, you could actually get to solid gold if you went all the way down to 0.66, what would that be? 0.66, about 9 inches, or sorry, 9 inches. Basing things on a foot. Sorry. If it were 3/4 or 0.66 of an inch thick, then it would be a solid arm, or a solid piece of gold. Now, we go back now here to the modulus of rupture, which is a 29 KSI. And because the outer arms have the most weight on them, they are the ones who are most likely to break. Those are the weakest two arms. So let's just do the math on the outer two arms. Each arm is 11 pounds or 4.9 kilograms. The modulus is 29 KSI, so we're dealing with, and remember we dealt with 0.66 of the square inches. So the KSI of this arm is 19.1 KSI. Well, the weight of it is for the modulus. 4.9 KSI is the weight of it. So 4.9 is less than 19.14, so the arm should be safe without bending. Now, I didn't take into account the weight of the oil. That's not going to change the math much. And again, at that point in time, it's for the most part stable. I think moving, and that's another issue, moving is when it's actually the weakest, because any jostling adds that movement down as you walk with it. And they build a special thing on how they move the lampstand. I also didn't run the issue that the oval shape is going to resist bending better than a square shape. So again, we have some additional benefits for the way this thing is being done. Now the other aspect is it's hammered gold, but I didn't mention how the arms would be connected to the base. And I would think that would be a solid piece of gold. Basically you put a stopper on this thing, and you put those arms in there, and you just pour solid gold into that to make that section there very, very solid. It doesn't say that. We don't know that. It's just that's my personal thinking of how that would work. And again, that is taking weight away from the arms where you don't want the weight and moving it towards the center where you do want the weight, and actually is making this even stronger at that point in time. So again, we come back to the issue where, again, I was told this thing can't stand on its own, and yeah, it can. It can easily stand on its own. Just mathematically running things, which again I love to do.